So the simple question we're asking on Newshour is, who should be held responsible for this unprecedented crisis that Delhi is currently going through? We are joined now by member of the Aadmi Party, Professor Kamal Mitra Chinnoy. Cartoonist Sudhir Telang is with us in the Delhi studio. BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra also with us, spokesperson of the Congress Sanjay Jha, and Professor Sriram Khanna, managing editor of Consumer Voice. But I want to ask you first, Sanjay Jha. Today we had Arvinder Singh Lovely saying that if anyone is to blame, it is the BJP. Now this is a government which has been in power for what, 15 days? And don't you think that blaming a government which has been in power for 15 days is farcical for a party that has been in power in Delhi for 15 years?
Let me answer, by actually putting some facts in perspective. Ever since the Delhi government under the former Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit ji had privatized the power distribution, what is the reality? The reality is that power cuts were down to zero. Delhi relative, if you compare it to the other metropolitan cities with which it is comparable, had the lowest tariff in terms of the price of electricity. And if you look at even losses of technical and commercial losses, which were as high once upon a time as 65 to 68%, came down to 17%. Now that's the reality. Now what happened is, if you look at what's happening in Delhi over the last 6 months, you haven't really had a government beyond the 49 days of Mr. Kejriwal's government. Now, if you look at the reasons why today Delhi is having a power cut, the warnings were given a long time earlier. The companies that are distributing companies called as discoms, if they don't have cash, they may have a balance sheet, etc., but they have no cash.
I want to correct you there, because it would not be fair to let you get away unchallenged. The truth of the matter is that on the 30th of July, there was a northern power grid breakdown. There was a blackout in Delhi again on 31st of July in 2012. In June 2013, again there was a power crisis in Delhi. So it's not really true when you say that there was 24 hours uninterrupted power in all the duration that the Congress was in power. Not factually correct.
There's more, Sanjay Jha.
Well, let me give
There's more, Sanjay Jha. Since you're saying facts and reality, good evening, Sanjay Jha.
A sporadic.
Sanjay Jha, please hear me out. 2006, the Supreme Court pulled up.
Anand, just give me a minute. Anand, just give me a minute. The truth is, and let me tell you the simple business reality. If a corporation was being forced to reduce its tariff by 50% because of whatever populist promises were made in a manifesto, you got to look at what are going to be the commercial ramifications.
No. Please, now, Sanjay Jha, before you move on. Sanjay Jha, before you move on, I'm quoting facts and I am stating reality. 2006, the Supreme Court makes an observation asking the Delhi government, then led by Sheila Dikshit, saying you have to fix your distribution. The Supreme Court of India pulled up the UPA government as well as the Sheila Dikshit-led Delhi government in 2006 when it pointed out that non-availability of power was due to distribution issues. Even 7 years later, neither the UPA government at that time or the Congress Delhi government woke up to the problem. Then, in 2011, September, the CNAG slammed the Congress Delhi government for the rising power deficit. Then, Sheila Dikshit, 6 months before she is going to demit office, she realizes the outstanding that private discoms owe the Delhi government. Now, these are also facts. And so far, the biggest issue is not about supply. Delhi has surplus power. It's about distribution. So where has it been fixed? Who should fix it? A government that is there for 15 days, a government that was there for 49 days, or a government that was there for 15 years? No.
Yeah, let me answer your question. If you look at that track record, forget one-offs that may have happened, but the truth is that today what are called as regulatory assets, which means what the discoms are supposed to receive as revenue that they don't realize, runs into an astronomical rupees 20,000 crores.
Why is it that Sheila Dikshit realized that only 6 months before completing a 15-year term?
Parties like the
Why
BJP
are you talking tariff? I am talking supply, distribution, maintenance.
The BJP and the AAP party, well, let me tell you the problem. Yes, transmission and distribution is a problem. That is a power sector issue at a more
Why hasn't the Delhi government fixed it so far? What was the Congress doing for 15 years?
And we can even talk about shortage of coal, etc. But sticking to Delhi, Anand, just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Sticking to Delhi, the critical issue is when our government, former government, wanted to make a tariff increase, you found protestations by the BJP and AAP for their own political ends. And today you have therefore a serious problem where the companies that that are supposed to distribute power are absolutely strapped of working capital. They will not get any equity at this point of time. And today they are actually, not able to pay NTPC.
Don't talk about 49 days. Don't talk about 49 days yet, Sanjay Jha.
So
please talk about what happened in 15 years. Are you trying to say people of Delhi never had a power cut in 2001, never had a power cut in 2006, never had a power cut in 2010, 2011, 2012? I can tell you, every year on an average, 3 hours in the peak summer. Summer, Delhi is equal to heat and power cut. How has that changed? How has that changed?
No, if you look at the last 12-year track record, Anand, you will find that Delhi was actually considered to be one of the most successful models of distribution of power. That's a fact. You cannot challenge me on any financials that you have with you. So these are situations that Piyush will have to handle, because you're not going to get a short-term remedy. You have to increase tariff, then you have to go to the people and say, listen, if you want 24/7 electricity, you'll have to make certain hard decisions. You cannot be different at an election time and suddenly wear a different hat of governance and pricing.
Because the UPA government and the Delhi government at that time didn't take decisions.
Probably if we had won at the third term, probably if we had won the fourth term,
what you didn't do in 2 terms, how can you say probably we had won in the third term?
They're talking of winning a fourth term.
3 terms. We did very well in 3 terms.
Sanjay,
have had a different government.
All was well till now. Sanjay, all was well till now. But why do you bring a fourth term? Why torture us? My God. Sanjay, all was well till now. We were listening to you, but please don't torture by bringing a fourth term. Even an imaginary fourth term of Congress is a torture. But Sanjay, I have umpteen number of papers in front of me, and right now most of the Congress spokespersons are saying, just a sec, Sanjay, the Congress spokespersons are saying we gave you uninterrupted power. Sanjay, remember 1 year ago, both of us on the same channel was debating the same issue. In fact, if you go to the Hindustan Times, May 29, 2013, the headlines are same. Delhi is without any power. You go to the Times of India headlines, just 2 days ago, 1 year back, the headlines were the same. Please don't say that you gave uninterrupted power. Secondly, let me remind you, yes, Piyush has a tough job because you left the country at the brinks of destruction. But remember, you had a North Grid failure, and 1 week after the whole half of the country went into a blackout, we had a new Home Minister. Sushil Kumar Sindhe was promoted as the Home Minister. And you should not, please, the Congress should not lecture on all these issues. Let me come to some serious point now. May 30th, we had a severe storm. We all know, in 30 years of history of Delhi, we never had such a storm. After the storm, I have a letter over here of a senior IAS officer who works in the Department of Electricity. Let us see what he writes to the Lieutenant Governor. He writes, the situation after the storm on May 30th would have been handled without any load shedding and distribution problems if the commissioning of the 220 kV Wazirpur grid with incoming power from the 400 kV Mundka substation had been completed on time. Now tell me nothing was completed on time. Whatever little infrastructure was there that was not upgraded, and it is not BJP's version or not Sambit Patra's version. Just ask your own Transco. The Transco is saying we have not been given the transmission amount by the discoms. How do we upgrade our system?
And to that I want to add, Sanjay Jha, the fact of the matter is that the total installed capacity in Delhi is upwards of 7,000. But when the demand is about 5,000, you are unable to meet it. How do you explain that not happening if it's not for lack of foresight? It's something that Piyush Goyal said yesterday, but it's also borne out by the statistics.
Yes, Sanjay Jha.
Well, I want to answer you very quickly. It's very strange that the questions are focusing on me because Congress has not been in government since we lost the elections in December. Now, the BJP will always go back to history, but they need to take certain structural decisions on their own, and they need to do it quickly. But, just to explain how myopic and short-sighted the BJP is when it comes to India's energy needs, this was the same party in 2009 that wanted to vote against the nuclear deal, which is actually a very, effective environmentally safer
you just told me focus on Delhi,
India, which is,
and now you're digressing altogether.
So I just want to make one simple point.
It's not going to work today.
That end of day, End
and I'm going to call time out there.
That
Sanjay just told your thoughts. I'm going to go across.
Were not bleeding.
I'm going to go across to Professor Sriram Khanna before I go across to Professor Chenoy and Sudhir Telang.
And the consumers,
Professor Khanna, you're the managing editor of Consumer Voice. Who do you think is responsible for this?
This has become a post-election slanging match between the BJP and the Congress, and electricity has gone down the pipe. Neither of them are concerned about the houses where there is no electricity. My friend's party, before the election, his Delhi party president promised the Delhi people, we'll bring down power by 50% tariffs if we come into power. Then he was replaced by another person who said, no, we can't bring down 50%, we'll bring down 30%. The other opposition in the AAP was saying that you should not pay bills. And here the letter is being read that the line was not put up by the Transcom because the Discoms are not paying them. How do you expect the Discoms to pay for these investments and these upgradations if the consumers are not going to pay their bills?
Absolutely.
Ultimately, let's be very clear. The BJP and the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party have not been willing to call a spade a spade. You have to tell the public, you have to pay the cost of generating and distributing electricity.
Absolutely.
No free
That's
power.
The question the Aam Aadmi Party must answer, Kamal Mitra Chinoy, because the Aam Aadmi Party is sitting pretty at present. You're holding protests outside Dr. Harshvardhan's house, but you have to answer that when your chief minister, when he was 49 days in power, he not only announced a subsidy, but he also said all his supporters who did not pay their bills were actually rewarded by all their dues being forgiven. How can you expect the Discoms, like the professor was just saying, to put up with these expenses when people are not paying their bills, Kamal Mitra Chinoy?
No, but this is no way to solve power. I'm sorry, you cannot solve the power question unless you see the basic point is that long-term planning of power has not been done.
The AAP government also didn't do it. Professor Chinoy, the AAP government also didn't do it. They put forward populist measures.
There for 2 months.
Yes, so on hindsight, it looks like they came with a plan of being there for 60 days and they stayed for 49.
No.
But you are asking people of Delhi not to pay their bills.
It's a very
you are carrying out a campaign asking people not to pay their bills.
No, tell us, Professor Chinoy, what did the AAP government do? Did the AAP government leave a lasting impression? Did they plan beyond March? Did they plan beyond 60 days of being in power? Did they put forward a forward plan? Did they say that no, supply and distribution has to be improved? They just decided on cutting and doling out freebies. They just attacked the Discoms. They just focused on the tariff because they wanted to show superficial, immediate response to the people. That's what has happened.
I don't agree with you, because if a concession is made to the
one thing
poor,
I must say,
with the kind of capitalism we have built, that we give concessions to the poor. Second thing I want to say is that Samvid's party and the Congress have been here for the long term, and
so are you agreeing? Are you agreeing that the Aam Aadmi Party came there for the short term? They did not intend to be there beyond 60 days. Are you agreeing to that fact?
Listen,
because that's what it looks like, sir, now.
I can only say that this is trash. No, this is a debate.
So how can you believe the Aam Aadmi Party protesting outside Harshvardhan's house, Dr. Harshvardhan's residence, and saying that no, we are here for the people of Delhi?
How can we believe the Congress party?
How can you believe the Aam Aadmi Party? Please answer that question, sir.
How can we believe the
Professor Khanna, do you agree with Professor Chinoy?
I mean, this is nonsense.
Do you agree with Professor Chinoy there when he says that the Aam Aadmi Party was there for the short term, BJP and Congress are here for the long term? So does that itself show that the Aam Aadmi Party was there only to give some populist freebies so that they can score some brownie points ahead of the general elections?
Listen,
does this not expose the Aam Aadmi Party is my other question. So who's responsible?
Arnab never speaks like this. Arnab never speaks like this. You are speaking like
Professor Khanna, your point.
A party person. You are not supposed to speak a party person.
Professor Khanna, your point.
This is interesting.
All right, let me bring in Sambit Patra for a quick rebuttal and Sanjay Jha. Sambit Patra, go ahead.
First, please.
Why wasn't there long
Kamal, please, calm down. We are not pointing fingers.
Professor Chinoy, no point getting angry when I'm asking you some strong questions.
Neither the BJP nor the Congress did this.
this is the problem with the Aam Aadmi Party. They make such amount of decibels and noise for nothing, you know. I mean, Kamal, with due diligence to you, with due respect to you, you are a senior person, but let me tell you very frankly, Aam Aadmi Party has more of entertainment value in Delhi now than any serious value. We are not taking you seriously. Neither are you into serious discussion in this. It is between the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress, because they are the ones, for 12 long years, they gave misrule to this country, to this capital of our country. Leave aside the country has already taught them a lesson. But the biggest point was our electricity expert was saying that the discoms, in fact, could not get the right amount of money from the people, to which I object. In fact, the discoms have been hand in glove with the Delhi government. We have at umpteen number of times exposed their corrupt nexus. Just because the discoms claim that they are not getting their due, that does not mean that we should not audit them. That does not mean we should give them a free hand. That does not absolve the previous Congress government of not having infrastructure in place. That does not give, in fact, the Congress an alibi that they should not have an alternative system in place, which today, ironically, is not in place. Just because the discoms are corrupt, that does not mean Congress has an alibi over there.
No, no one is giving them any alibis, and in fact, we'll let Sanjay Jha also come in with a rebuttal. But I want to bring in Sudhir Telang at this point. Sudhir Telang, do you get the feeling that in the middle of this blame game, where everyone is just looking to where to just let the blame rest, no one actually cares at the end of the day about the people who are suffering 3-hour-long, 6-hour-long power cuts every single day? I can tell you that. I live in Delhi, and we're lucky if we have only 2 hours of power cuts.
Padmaja, I live in Mayur Vihar Phase 2 in Delhi. And I can tell you for the past 1 week, it's living hell. Sometimes it's for half an hour, sometimes it's for 1 hour, sometimes it's for 2 hours, sometimes it's for 4 hours. Last night, and before last night, it was a power cut for 3 hours and 4 hours, from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. It's real hell. Let me show a cartoon here. I begin with a cartoon. Today, even Times Now is following the advice of the Lieutenant Governor. When I entered the studios, there was no air conditioner working here. So you are also following the Lieutenant Governor's advice. See, this is, what is this? Can you show the cartoon, please? This is the state of, I just quickly drawn this cartoon. This is the state of the Delhi citizen right at the moment. You know, many years ago, somebody had said that Ghar Khuda Firdaus Barruwe Zaminast 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 Haminasto Haminasto Haminasto. Which means that in Kashmir, it was about Kashmir, that if there is a paradise anywhere on the earth, it's on Kashmir. You can slightly alter it. If there is a hell anywhere on earth, it's in Delhi right now. It's in Delhi, it's in Delhi. The thing is that I've seen many pictures of those posters during my childhood, and those posters can be, you can get it in Chowdi Bazaar and Nai Sadak. The picture of the hell. The sinners are thrown into a boiling, a pan of boiling oil. Boiling oil. And this is what is happening with Delhi citizens. And this is the state of the Delhi citizen, and nobody is bothered about it. But blame game.
While the politicians blame one another.
That is not going to take us anywhere. The fact is, let me tell you, Padmaja, can you blame the Congress party which ruled here for 15 years? Why not? It was long back. You can blame it. No doubt. And after that, for 49 days, this AAP government came, which did not sit in the office, but spent most of the time outside the roads.
No, but let us know what is the BJP. What is the BJP plan to fix it in 100 days?
The BJP government, let me tell you, is that there only for 2 weeks. How can you blame the BJP government for this? Give them some time. And I think Narendra Modi has shown a big paradise to the people. Let us give him some time. Give him 2 years, 3 years, and wait for it. We are looking for solutions and not for the blame games.
All right, so
Delhi citizens are sick of it now.
Let me ask you that. The Delhiites might be suffering from hellfire right now, but who's the real sinner in this case, and what really is the solution?
all the three political parties who had political space in Delhi, at one time or the other, have been opposing increase in tariffs. One has, my friend's party, the BJP's Delhi president, promised 50% reduction in power tariffs. His successor promised 30%. Aam Aadmi Party asked everybody not to pay the existing power bills. And the Congress Party was not willing to have the tariffs go up. Until you can meet the full cost of power distribution and generation, you are not going to have power 24 hours.
You all put populism over practicality, Sambit Patra. So today you might be saying that it's the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party to blame. But what about you? Look inward.
See, my question is, does BJP have a plan to fix everything in 100 days?